I'd love for you to join us as we sing God is Our Source, and stand if you're able. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Welcome one another in a way that feels most comfortable to you. Welcome. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning. That's the amazing Angie Cat that we have this morning, inspiring us with music. And so glad to have you back with us as always. And it's so glad to have you all what am I saying? I'm so glad that you are here today. So thank you for choosing to be here in the sanctuary. And thank you, all of those of you who might be tuning in online. We're so glad to have you with us this morning. I missed you last week. It's good to be back. I'm back in Colorado and back in this beautiful, loving space with all of you. I was with family last week, and you know how that can be sometimes. So, yeah, you know what they said? I think it was Ram Dass that said, if you want to know how enlightened you are, go spend a week with your family. Good reminder. So welcome to all of those who are here for the first time. If you found us here, we so appreciate that. Hopefully you got a visitor packet when you walked in the door. If you did not, please let us know, and we would love to get one of those to you. If you are tuning in online, we have a digital visitor card online, so you can go to our website, unitydenver.org, and fill that out. We'd love to know that you're watching. If you are not getting our newsletter and you would like to, go to our website, once again, unitydenver.org, go to the bottom of the page, and you can subscribe right there at that little orange button at the bottom. That goes out on every Friday morning. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you won't miss anything when we do go live. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, please like our page on Facebook as well. We also have an app that you can download to your phone or other device. And if you send a text, which is Unity Denver, one word, space app, APP, to the number 833-815-9486, you will get a return text that gives you a link. You can click on that link and download our app. And there on the app, you can donate, you can sign up, you can watch past services. It's a wonderful tool to have. And if all of that doesn't work, just send us an email, info@unitydenver.org. So I want to share with you about a few things that are happening around here in the next few weeks, and even today. So today, after our service at 11:15, there is a children's lesson presented by our Youth and Family Ministry Director, Natalie Simons. So if you're at home and watching, you can tune into that on YouTube or Facebook. Also, coming up is, I can't see what that says. On the 8th. Okay, August 8th, which will be 2 weeks from today. We are recreating the Children's Garden. If you're not familiar with the Children's Garden, it was the original sanctuary here at Unity Denver, and it has for many years been a space where children come and they have classes and they have playtime and they have a circle every Sunday morning. And Natalie has been reimagining that space to create different areas for the children who have different interests. Will be a music area, a meditation space, a reading space, different spaces within that room where children can experience their own way of experiencing the divine. So if you're available to assist with that on the 8th of August after service, we could really use some help with moving things around. And the more we have, the less time it will take, and we will have some food for you after that. I can't read that either. Oh, we also need volunteer teachers. We have classes beginning in the fall where we will need your help. We have children that we want to support and encourage in their own spiritual growth and development, and we rely upon volunteers to make that happen. And so if you have it in your heart to work with children, we would appreciate that. It won't be every Sunday. Hopefully we'll have enough teachers where you can do that once a month, maybe twice a month, and we'll give you the opportunity to also be in here as well on the other off Sundays. So please consider that. Give that some prayerful consideration and let us know if you can assist with that. Coming up, the Labor Day weekend is the Feminine Energy Retreat at Sunrise Ranch. And I was asked to let you know, if any of you have registered, or if you would like more information about it, there will be a meet and greet happening next Sunday, August 1st, between the 9:15 in the morning to 9:50. So come here early, meet and greet each other, get to know each other a little bit before you go on the retreat. And if you want to have more information about it, there'll be people there to answer your questions, and then you can stay for the service at 10 o'clock. There will be some refreshments. And also they ask that if you have registered and you have not already provided proof of vaccination, you can bring that with you there. They're going to be spending a lot of time together in close quarters, and they are requiring everybody to be vaccinated. Today, after service, we do have fellowship. Our men's group has provided fellowship today, so there will be some food, and invite you to stay after that. So thank you, men's group, those of you who are here, for providing the fellowship for today. All right. And on that note, if any of you would be willing to do that, we want to encourage some type of gathering together, meeting each other, greeting after service, and food always seems to help with that. So if any of you would be willing to do that, it doesn't have to be anything big. It can just be bagels and cream cheese or whatever. If you'd be willing to participate in that, we'd love to know that as well. So please contact Trish in the office or contact me, and we'd love to have you participate in that. So with all of that said, let's just bring ourselves into this space. I just invite you to take a deep breath. Feel the chair that's supporting your body. Feel your feet against the floor. And just imagine Mother Earth rising to meet your feet. Feel yourself connected and supported by Gaia, that creative energy that is the earth, that sustains us, that nurtures us. Breathe in this breath of life that is all around us. Feel the energy in the space. Feel the energy of the other people in this space as we come together in one accord in this co-creative experience of light and love, coming together in the awareness of our unity, our oneness, as that divine life expressing innocent through us and as us. And I invite you to take a moment and breathe into your heart space, a space at the very center of your own awareness, your own life. And as you breathe into that place, I invite you just to listen to the tone of the singing bowl, allowing it to assist you in opening your heart attuning, resonating with the vibration of this tone.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
I invite you to breathe once again deep into your heart space. As you open your awareness to that energy of love, the vibration of love, that is that emanation of source, the emanation of the divine, that is expressed outward, expressing into form as you, as me, as each of us. And so as we affirm, surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love is right here, right now, in this place, within your own being, in your own heart, in your own body. Because you are love made manifest. And because we are here in this place, in this room, this sanctuary, love is here. Love is all around us. Love is expressing in the one seated on either side of you, in back of you, in front of you, all around you. So we embrace the awareness of love's presence. And in this moment, we choose to release anything that would block our awareness of love's presence. Just imagine that dropping away, letting it go, surrendering it to love, knowing that love is the energy that heals, love is the energy that transmutes, love is the energy that draws us to our highest and best good. And so as we come together to co-create this resonant field of love, we draw into this space those who are on our hearts and minds, those in our community who have not yet returned to this physical space, but we know that we are one because we know that there is no space or time in consciousness. We hold those who are experiencing illness, those who are experiencing loss, those who might be experiencing any disruption in their human experience and feeling, whatever they're feeling. We lift them up in the awareness that love is the only truth, and that love is expressing perfectly, wholly, completely, in and through and as each life. And so we allow love to do its perfect work, to be its perfect expression in each life, in each situation. And we are grateful for this knowing and grateful for our willingness to claim it and to be it. And so it becomes, and so it is. Amen. So I read something this morning. I was reminded of a very deep truth of this morning, and I wanted to share it with you. As I'm reading, you may pick up on who wrote it, but I'll share that with you in a minute. It does not require a prophet's perception to discern the signs of these times. The dissolution of the old and the birth of the new are manifest in every walk of life. The past few years have accelerated this dissolution at a tremendous pace. And a prominent scientist says that the changes have been so many that the textbooks of nearly every science will have to be rewritten. Yet those who are watching the mental realm know that still higher changes are going on there. The religious world of a few years ago does not exist today. In politics and in government, the same upheavals are at work. The rights of humanity are no longer theories. They are about to become real conditions in the world of affairs. So from any plane of observation that may be chosen, we can assert with conviction that crisis is here. A higher state of consciousness is bursting full-blown upon the whole of humanity. It is everywhere, and those who are most open to its influx are being rewarded. The power is abroad in the earth, and it calls to people and to nations. Come up higher. All this presages a new state of consciousness for all people. We are that people. The dawn of the millennium is in our keeping. We possess the keys that open the gates of the New Jerusalem. It should not be assumed that this refers to any sect or class. It refers to all people of this great time who are open to spiritual understanding. The keys are presented to those who come into a perception that all is mind and that all things and conditions represent states of consciousness produced through the free action of the I am in every man and woman. This is the key that is being entrusted to many in this great day of the Lord. I share that with you because it was written by Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore almost 100 years ago. In 1926. And so as you listen to that, could you see how that applies to us today, even 100 years later? That in every age, there appears to be crisis. In every age, there appears to be, and there is, evolution of consciousness. In every age, there is disruption, there is dissolution, and there is rebirth, restructuring. And I share that because we get to participate. We are those people who are here to participate consciously. To not fear the dissolution. To not be in fear about what's changing, what's going on in the world today, but to be hopeful about what's happening in the world today. And to know that we can participate consciously in that. As Fillmore said, we understand that it is all consciousness. All the effects, all the conditions that we see out here are effects of consciousness. So how do we make a conscious choice? How do we participate consciously in bringing forth that New Jerusalem? What do we do? What is our part? And I think that's just a question that we get to ponder for ourselves. So I'm not sure that has anything to do with my message today. I just thought about that this morning as I was reading and meditating on that, and I wanted to open that up for us. We can get so much into fear sometimes about what's going on in the world around us. We can listen to the news reports. We can buy into all of that fear. Or we can choose something different. And when we choose something different, we participate in creating something different. So I just want to encourage us to know that and to be reminded of that as we move through what appears often to be very challenging times. People of every age have felt that way. It's not just us. Miss Angie.
Where are you now when darkness seems to win? Where are you now when the world is crumbling? Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey. Where are you now when all I feel is doubt? Oh, where are you now when I can't figure it out? Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, hey, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Hey, look up. You're not threatened by the war. You're not shaken by the storm. I know you're in control. Even in our suffering, even when it can't be seen, I know you're in control. Oh, I hear you say, look up, child. Hey, look up, child. Yeah, look up, child. Yeah, look up, child. Oh yeah, look up, child. Yeah, look up, child. Oh yeah, look up, child. Look up, child. Hey, look up, child.
Thank you, Angie. I love that Lauren Daigle song, and you sing it so beautifully. So thank you for doing that for us today. So a couple of weeks ago, I started exploring the story of Moses leading the children of Israel out of bondage in Egypt, and we did that for a couple of weeks. And I had so much fun with that, I thought, why not do something like that again? Why not have a short series on Bible stories and how we can apply them in our lives? And so I'm thinking I will do that for the next few weeks. Today, I want to explore the story of Jonah. How many of you remember the story of Jonah and the whale? A lot of people, most people remember that story, whether it's from Sunday school when we were children or wherever we might have heard it. I think many of us, most of us, know the story of Jonah, but let me just remind you, in case you don't remember the story of Jonah. Jonah was a prophet in Israel, and one day God spoke to Jonah and told Jonah to go to Nineveh to speak to the people of Nineveh, because the people of Nineveh were in sin. They were caught up in their sin, and they were going to die in their sin, and God wanted to save them. And he knew that Jonah could go down to Nineveh and talk to them and teach them and tell them the good news, and to tell them how to repent and come back into alignment with God. Well, Jonah, hearing this, said, "Hey, I'm not going to do that. I don't like those people down there in Nineveh. They're against me. They're against Israel. Why would I want to go down there and help them? So what did Jonah do? He decided to go on a cruise. He decided to get on a boat and go somewhere else. He didn't want to go to Nineveh. So he gets on this ship, and according to the story, God sends this horrible storm that tosses the ship. Everybody on the ship is afraid that they're going to die in the storm. Because God had sent this storm, according to the story, according to the way I heard the story when I was a kid, to punish Jonah for not doing what he said to do. Well, they were all worried about that, and back in that day, they believed that there was an evil spirit on board the ship when a storm came up, and somebody was helping to create that. And so they went to Jonah and asked Jonah, "Who are you? Are you the one that's causing the storm?" And Jonah told them the whole story, and he said, "Yeah, it's my fault. Just toss me overboard. Just toss me overboard." Well, they didn't want to do that. They tried to save him. They didn't want to toss him overboard, as good people would do. But eventually, he convinced them that he was the cause of it, and they didn't know what else to do, so they tossed him overboard, tossed him into the sea. Well, then along comes this big fish. God sends this big fish that we have now, made into a whale. Although whales are mammals and fish are not, but I don't know how, that doesn't matter. But this big fish comes along and swallows Jonah, and Jonah's in this belly of this fish for 3 days. Well, apparently the fish got sick of him too. Because after 3 days, the fish throws him up back onto the land, right? And so then Jonah has a change of heart, and he goes down to Nineveh, and he talks to the people, and they listen to him, and they mend their ways. They stop their sin, and they come back into the alignment with God, and seems to be all begins to be well. And then Jonah, he has this realization that all people are children of God, and God loves all his children. That is, unless they're sinning, and then he'll throw them into hell or punish them. So that was the story as I heard it when I was a kid, was that if you don't do what God says, and even it was an extension of that, if you don't do what your parents say, you will be punished in some way. Anybody else kind of get that idea about the story, that you're supposed to be good, you're supposed to mind God, you're supposed to do all these things, or else something is going to happen to you. You're going to be punished. Well, if we in Unity don't believe in a God, a punishing, a punitive God, we don't believe in that kind of God. We believe in a God of love. Love is God. God is love. So if we look at that story, what I love about Unity, when I first got into Unity, was metaphysical Bible interpretation, one of the things I love most about Unity. And then I learned about maieutic, don't ask me how to spell it, maieutic Bible interpretation, which really means how does this apply to me right now in my life? It's sort of the Socratic method approach to questioning. What is this about for me? How can I make sense of it? How can I apply it in my life right now? And so we can think of those stories as fables that somebody put down many years ago, or we can look at them as some expression of truth about my life, about what's going on now in my own consciousness, and how can I apply it in my life. And so that's the way I want to sort of explore that with you today. Jonah, as I said, was a prophet. What is a prophet? A prophet, in our understanding, usually, is one who speaks for God, one who has a special connection with the divine, one who can speak the truth, connect with the truth at a deep level, and speak that truth to help others. So Jonah is a prophet, and what I want to say about that, I have to come down here. is that we sometimes think, and have these stories about prophets as being special, that there's something other than we are. But what I want to remind us of is that each of us can be a prophet or prophetess. Because each of us has the ability to connect deeply with the truth of the divine within us. Each of us has that capacity to listen deeply to Spirit. As the song was saying, I hear you say, look up. I hear you say, whatever it is that voice, the still small voice of Spirit is speaking to us, each of us has the ability. And each of us has the ability to speak that in some way. How many of you in this room today have been in a situation where something came out of your mouth that you had no idea where it came from? Somebody needed help. Somebody came to you for some help, and you said something to them that you had no way of consciously knowing. I'm guessing many of us have had similar experiences where we have said something or done something in a way that we might not have consciously been aware of. And from my way of speaking, that is my way of understanding, it's connecting with that divine life energy and allowing it to have its expression through us. Now, as we interpret things metaphysically, we understand that everything is happening in the story is not happening out here, it's happening in here within us. It's all going on in here for all of us. And what do we do with that? So that voice within us, that divine voice says, go into Nineveh where the people are lost in sin, they're dying in their sin. Well, we have a different understanding of sin in Unity. We believe, we don't really use that word, but we think about it as error thought. It's our thinking, our beliefs that are not in alignment with truth, not in alignment with the truth of who we are, of who God is within us. And so to say that we're lost in sin really means that we are lost. We can be, you and I can be, I say this from personal experience, lost in these negative feelings, thoughts that are not in alignment with truth. That can come as guilt, as blame, as resentment, as worry, as doubt, as all of those things that we deal with within us that are not in alignment with truth. And when we think about it that way, we can get lost in that. And if we hold on to that, to energy of that for too long, it drains our life energy. It drains our mental energy, it drains our emotional energy, and it drains our physical energy. And so as the story said, we can die figuratively and literally from the energy that we hold that is not in alignment with our truth. And so when that voice says to that part of us, go into that place, because all of that is causing this lack of life energy within you, within me, and speak the truth to that. Bring that into alignment with the truth. Bring that into harmony. Does that make sense so far? Yeah? That's what that voice for love, a voice of God, is always calling us to. Is to the remembrance of who we are, to the remembrance of itself as us, which is love. And all that other stuff is not in alignment with love. Resentment, blame, guilt. But is there ever a part of you, I know there has been a part of me that says, I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that stuff. Or is there a part of us that may say, if I'm holding resentment or blame about somebody, I am resolute in believing that they deserve it. They deserve to be punished for something they did. So I'm not going to let go of my resentment. I'm not going to let go of my blame for them. I'm going to hang on to it, even if it kills me. Maybe. Or maybe there's some part of us that holds on to shame and guilt for something that we might have done or said or not said in the past. And we believe we deserve it. We don't believe that we deserve love. We don't believe that we deserve to be forgiven. We don't believe that we can be redeemed or saved, that we deserve some sort of punishment. Maybe. I'm not saying that's true for you. I'm not saying either one is true for you. But I think either one can be true for us, and maybe has been at some point. So now, I don't mean this as an indictment of New Thought, or maybe I do, but I sometimes think that we in New Thought try to put on these rose-colored glasses and only see the good. We don't want to see the darkness. We don't want to go into the darkness. Let me be above all of that. Let me just affirm my way past all of that. Well, from personal experience, that's not working. That does not work. We have to be willing to meet the darkness, to meet the shadow, and to embrace that within us, because we all have it. There's not one of us here, not one of us out there who doesn't have some shadow aspect of ourselves. And that's how important it is for us to bring the light to the shadow, to bring the light to the darkness, and embrace those aspects of ourselves. But there's a part of us that doesn't want to do that, just like it was with Jonah. I don't want to do that. So guess what? I'm going to run from it. I'm just going to get on a cruise ship and la, 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 la. Pretend it doesn't exist. But what happens in that is that the storm arises. Now, there's not a God out there that sends the storm, not in our way of understanding. You're not punished for the things that you hold within you. As Eric Butterworth, the great Unity minister and writer and teacher, says, you're not punished for your sin, you're punished by your sin. Meaning that you're punished, you have the effects, you experience the effects of the energy that you hold, because that's what you're putting out to the universe, and that's what you're getting back. So if you're holding all that resentment, all of that blame, all of that guilt, all of that shame, and you're putting that out there, the storms will arise in your life as a reflection of that. Everything is consciousness. Those storms may arise as illness, it may arise as relationship issues, it may arise as financial issues, it may arise in some other way, but the storm will come. Not as punishment, but really as a reminder, a wake-up call, so to speak. I need to go into that place. I need to heal that stuff. I need to change. I need to bring light and truth to that darker place within me. Even though it may not be fun. It may not be pleasant, but for me to heal and to be whole, it's necessary. And what the story also shows us is that it doesn't only affect you. It affects everybody on the ship with you. It affects everybody on that ship with you. They also are tossed about by the storms. And just like in the story, there may be people in your life who are being tossed about by the storms that you are carrying around, the negativity, the storm that you are creating. They may want to love you. They may want to embrace you. But at some point, they're going to get sick of it and toss you overboard. Maybe. And there may be, conversely, a person in your life who's carrying around a lot of negative energy, a lot of pain, a lot of resentment, a lot of hurt, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And you may be affected by the storms that they're brewing in their lives. And you don't want to throw them overboard. It may be a spouse, it may be a child, it may be a relationship, it may be whatever. But at some point, you may need to separate from that person, from that negativity. Lovingly, yes, but you may need to separate from that person. Because it drags you down as well. You're affected by those relationships. So they throw him overboard finally, and he's swallowed up by this fish. Charles Fillmore says that fish, in all the stories in the Bible, represent possibility, potential, expansion. So Jonah being swallowed up and living in the belly of potential and possibility and the ideas of expansion for 3 days. Where do 3 days show up over and over and over and over again? 3 days. I talked about 3 days with Joshua taking the people into the promised land. 3 days where Jesus was crucified and buried and resurrected. Maybe that represents some of the same thing there. Jonah needed to die to his old way of being, needed to let that go, but also to integrate it. To integrate those aspects of himself in those 3 days so that he could be resurrected or reborn in a new consciousness, a new way of thinking. So our opportunity there is to focus, to recognize that all of that is a part of us, and all of that can be redeemed, all of that can be lifted, all of that can be shifted in frequency and awareness. We can do that with the help of that divine life that is living us, experiencing us, expressing as us. Love. So imagine if you were swallowed up in 3 days. It doesn't necessarily mean literally 3 days, but 3 days is that time of when things can sort of come into awareness, can be integrated and be expressed. It may not be 3 days, it may be 3 months, it may be 3 years. But are we willing? And then after that, Jonah decides to go ahead and do it. He says, go on into Nineveh. And he brings that possibility, he brings that potential, he brings that light to this darkness. He brings compassion, he brings empathy from his new perspective to the darkness that is within him, to the blame and guilt, the shame, and all of that stuff that can live in there. And eventually, you see, that part of us gets integrated through our willingness to bring it into the light, our willingness to claim it, our willingness not to continue to push it away, to damn it to hell, but to embrace it as part of us. To bring it into the fold, so to speak, as I might say in the Baptist church. To bring those sinners into the fold. But the sinner is simply just our beliefs, our thoughts that we're holding on to that are not in alignment with who we truly are. And our opportunity is to bring them into alignment and to integrate that aspect of us. And then to affect change in our lives, because as the end of the story says, Jonah learns that all of the children of God are beloved of God. You are beloved. You are the beloved. You are the beloved of the divine. And there's nothing, the scripture tells us nothing that is outside the possibility and the potential of the love of God. Nothing. Nothing in truth can separate you from the love of God. Nothing. Nothing you have done is irredeemable. Nothing you have done or not done is unforgivable. And our opportunity is to believe that for ourselves, to integrate that for ourselves, to bring the light to whatever darkness might still be held within us. Because only then can we claim our wholeness. And only then can we bring our wholeness to the world and participate consciously in co-creating this new Jerusalem. If we try to keep all that hidden, if we try to ignore it, if we try to escape it, it's still going to be there. We're still going to be living with it. And so is everybody around us. So at least for me, the story is a reminder that I have to do my work. I have to do my own personal healing work. That spirit or God within is always calling us to do. Always calling us to remember who we are. Always. Never condemning us, never blaming us, never judging us. That's what happens up here. We're the ones that do that. We create that God in our own image. God is love. And that love energy is always lifting us higher. Always calling us to look up, as the song says. So I just encourage you to develop or cultivate a practice of deep listening. Listen to that voice that's calling you. Cultivate a practice of self-connection and empathy and compassion. Empathy and compassion are great healers. And as we give ourselves that empathy and compassion and understanding, we can help to bring light to that darkness, and then we can extend that to other people. Giving that away to other people, just as the story said. We integrate it, that aspect of us. We have a new perspective, and then we're willing to go out and help others to see the light as well. I think that's all I have to say about that, but thank you for listening. I hope at least in some aspect of that, you connected with some part of that within yourself. Some aspect that would be helpful to you, because I can see myself in all of it, even though I don't always like it. I can see myself in all of that. So let's take a moment, once again, go within, take a breath. Allow the breath to bring your full attention, your awareness into your heart, where that still small voice of the divine is always calling. Come up higher, look up. See the love that you are. See the love that is here. See the love that is giving of itself in you, through you, as you. Listen deeply. That voice of love that says, you are my beloved child. I do not judge you. I do not condemn you. I do not blame you. I do not punish you. I love you. You are love. You are love incarnate. And as you embrace that, as you breathe into that, as you accept that in your mind and your heart, accept the anointing of that love. Know that if you think there's anything you need to be forgiven for, you are forgiven. Because in God, there is no need for forgiveness. There is only love. Know that right now you can release that. You can love yourself right where you are. You have never been outside the love of God. You never will be outside the love of God. And nor is anyone else. So claim that for yourself now. I am love incarnate. And so is everyone else. And I bring that love to every aspect of my being. And so as we go into a short time of silence, I just invite you to be with that. Allow anything to arise within you that you might perceive as darkness, shadow. You don't have to go searching for it. Just invite it to arise. And as it arises, I invite you just to surround it with love and light. Bringing love and light to that aspect of you that would hold on to guilt or blame, shame, resentment. So once again, just breathe. Allow the breath to bring your full awareness into the divine love, the energy of love that is living itself as you this moment. In every aspect of that which you are love made manifest right here, right now. Claim it. Embrace it, embody it, allow it. Once again, feel the chair that's supporting your body. Feel your feet against the floor. Feel all of that as an expression of love, supporting you, nurturing you, sustaining you, Mother Earth, the air that you breathe, the love of family and friends, the love that is in this space. We are one. We are love. And we are here to be that love in the world. And breathe as you bring your awareness back into this time and space.
I am here to give and receive love. Love, love, I am here to give and receive love.
Yeah, so let's just breathe into that. I am here to give and receive love. And so as we go into this time of we share our gifts and tithes and offerings, those of you who are in our sanctuary, you can do that with your app. You can do that in many ways. And as you leave, there are baskets out behind you as you leave to drop your checks or cash in. Those of you who are online, you see there on your screen some ways to do that. We appreciate all the ways that you support this ministry. We are so grateful and so blessed. And so I invite you to join us as we say our offertory blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am thankful.
So this song was written by a dear friend of mine named Sloane Wainwright, and it was inspired by a saying that her mother always told her, which is, if you want to be happy, keep your mind off your thoughts. If you want to be happy, keep your mind off your thoughts. Focus on the things you have, not what you haven't got. Thoughts can keep you up all night, they'll drive you to the brink. Thoughts can make you crazy, don't believe all that you think. To be happy, if you want to be happy, be careful what you say. Resist the urge to criticize when things don't go your way. Can't make yourself feel better putting other people down. Remember, words can hurt you when they come back around. If you want to be happy, gotta give up control. Take your hands off the wheel, let yourself go with the flow. When you give up competition, there can be no power play. Trust the mystery and let the chips fall where they may. like a man.
Angie Cat and Scott Smith on harmonica. All right. Thank you, man. It's pretty awesome. And thank you all for being here today. We're so blessed by your presence. And please stick around and have some food. I know there's lots of food out there. So please stay and enjoy that and enjoy some fellowship together. So I invite you to join me as we say our closing prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. As light, I illumine my world. The love enfolds us. I am the love of God. As love, I live empathy, understanding, and compassion. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. As power, I co-create a world of love, unity, equality for all. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. As presence, I stand in truth in every circumstance. And now our God is. Amen. Now join us as we sing our closing song.
Let there be love on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be love on earth, the love that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let love begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in love eternally. Let there be love on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you.